Have you ever noticed that making money feels different after 40? Not necessarily impossible, but heavier, slower, more complex. In your 20s, money feels like an opportunity. In your 30s, it feels like ambition. But after 40, it starts to feel like responsibility. And that psychological shift changes everything. Today, we're talking about the psychology behind that change, why earning and building wealth feels harder after 40, why it feels harder, what most people misunderstand, and what actually works if you want long-term financial stability. This is not about hype, it's about clarity. Because wealth after 40 isn't built the same way it was at 25. After 40, your relationship with money changes in 3 major ways. You're no longer experimenting, you're protecting. You think about retirement, healthcare, children, stability. So when someone says, take more risks, your brain says, at what cost? That's not fear, that's maturity. But here's the danger. Many people confuse maturity with stagnation. They stop learning, they stop adjusting, they assume it's too late, and that belief becomes expensive. But risk tolerance isn't the only thing that shifts. At 25, you think in decades. At 45, you think in years. That compresses your thinking. You start asking, is it even worth starting now? But here's the truth. Compounding doesn't care about your age. It cares about consistency. The real mistake after 40 isn't starting late. It's believing late means pointless. And then there's something even more powerful. After 40, many people define themselves by their career, their salary, their past financial mistakes. They say, I'm not good with money. I'm not an investor. I'm not business-minded. That identity silently limits future wealth. Psychology drives income more than intelligence does. Now here's the part most people miss. Making money after 40 can actually become easier if approached correctly. Why? Because in your 20s you have energy, in your 40s you have experience, you understand patterns, you've seen economic cycles, you recognize bad deals faster. You don't need to work harder, you need to think more strategically because leverage replaces hustle and strategy replaces chaos. Let's talk about passive income. But calmly, most people approach passive income emotionally. They think, I need something fast. I need something easy. I need something that replaces my job. That mindset leads to risky investments, online scams. Trend chasing after 40, passive income should mean something different. It should mean asset-based income, skill-based leverage, stability-focused investments, long-term sustainability, not hype. For example, instead of chasing 5 income streams, focus on strengthening one stable asset. Instead of high-risk trading, consider disciplined long-term investing. Instead of copying trends, use your professional experience to build something durable. Passive income after 40 should reduce stress, not increase it. Before chasing upside, protect your downside. Build emergency reserves. Reduce unnecessary debt. Invest consistently. Wealth after 40 is not built by intensity. It's built by controlled momentum. If I had to simplify the psychology of making money after 40, it would be this. Stop chasing quick wins. Start improving decision quality. Protect your downside before chasing upside, and let consistency compound quietly. Making money after 40 isn't harder. It's just different. The real shift isn't financial, it's psychological. If you master your thinking, you stabilize your actions. And when actions stabilize, wealth compounds quietly. That's the quiet wealth most people never talk about. But here's where many get stuck. Knowing the psychology is one thing. Putting it into a simple, repeatable system is another. After 40, life feels more complex. Responsibilities pile up, time feels shorter, so you need a framework that's clear, not chaotic. One that lets you protect your downside while still living intentionally. That's why a lot of people turn to something straightforward like the 50-30-20 rule. It's not flashy. It's not about getting rich quick. It's a calm way to allocate your after-tax income so your money works for you without constant stress. The rule is simple. Divide your take-home pay, what hits your account after taxes and deductions, into 3 clear buckets. First, 50% for needs, the essentials you can't avoid. These are the non-negotiables that keep life running. Housing, rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, basic transportation, fuel, public transit, car maintenance, minimum debt payments like credit cards or loans, health insurance or basic medical costs, childcare if you have dependents. The goal here is to keep these at or below 50%. After 40, this bucket often grows because of healthcare, family obligations, or rising living costs. If it creeps above 50%, that's a signal to look for adjustments. Maybe negotiate bills, downsize slightly, or find ways to lower fixed expenses. Protecting this foundation reduces anxiety and frees mental energy for better decisions. Next, 30% for wants, the things that make life enjoyable but aren't survival level. This is where you breathe. Dining out, entertainment, streaming, movies, hobbies, travel or weekends away, new clothes or gadgets, coffee runs, gym memberships, subscriptions. Here's the key after 40, this isn't guilt money. Maturity means you've earned the right to enjoy what you've built, but with intention. Ask yourself, does this add real value to my life right now, or is it just filling a temporary gap? This bucket keeps you from feeling deprived, which prevents burnout or rebellion spending later. Finally, 20% for savings and financial goals. This is where the quiet compounding happens. This includes emergency fund building or topping up, retirement contributions, pension 401k, IRA or local equivalents, extra debt payoff beyond minimums, investments, index funds, stocks, or other long-term assets, future big goals, home repairs, kids' education, travel fund. Why 20%? Because consistency here turns small, regular actions into powerful momentum. At 45 or 50, you might not have decades left for aggressive growth, but you do have experience to make smarter choices. Automate this portion first. Pay yourself before the rest disappears. It's the opposite of your 20s mindset, where savings came last. Now, is this rule perfect for everyone after 40? Not always. If your needs already eat up 60 to 70%, common in high-cost areas or with family responsibilities, start by aiming close, maybe 55-25-20, and gradually tighten the needs bucket. If you're debt-heavy, you might temporarily shift more of the 20% toward payoff. The beauty is flexibility. It's a guideline, not a cage. Adjust the percentages as life changes, but keep the structure. Needs first, then enjoyment, then future security. Try it this way. 1. Calculate your monthly take-home pay. 2. Multiply by 0.5 for needs arrow track and cap it there. 3. Multiply by 0.3 for wants to give yourself permission to spend here mindfully. 4. The remaining 0.2 go straight to savings/goals. Automate it. Review once a quarter. Life after 40 rewards review, not rigid perfection. This isn't about restriction. It's about alignment. Aligning your spending with your values, your experience, and your longer-term peace. When your money flows this way, decisions feel lighter, stress drops, and that quiet wealth we talked about, it starts showing up in your account, your sleep, and your confidence. If this framework feels useful, give it a try for the next month and see how it shifts things. Drop a comment. What's one bucket you think needs the most attention right now? Thanks for watching. If you're building that calm, intentional financial life after 40, like, share, and subscribe for more practical clarity. No noise, just real steps forward.